What's up, Scyushi Squad? We are back in some more Trove, and as with any new update, obviously we've got a new cache shop item. Namely, it's going to end up being these bad boys, the Greater Sundered Uplands Caches, which is going to end up being located right here in the More tab. So what these are going to do is the same as any cache boxes that are added to the game. Essentially, they contain Ashen or Irradiant resources, which is found in the Sundered Uplands biome, including Ashen and Irradiant Souls, Golden Scrolls, Sundered Charged Crystals, and Sunder Arc Cache Keys, or a rare tradable version of the new mounts, allies, or wings. Which I'm expecting these to suck. Frankly speaking, I always like doing videos like this for you guys, even though it does hit my wallet. You know, we're doing 100 of these bad boys, so it was quite expensive. Because it's, you know, 4,500 credits each time. But when we end up buying these big packs, we do end up getting 3 of the guaranteed items. So hopefully we get something worthwhile, either something that I can end up unlocking myself, or generally speaking, it might be something that I end up selling, because these new items in the Sundered Uplands are ridiculously expensive, because there's so many items that are constantly draining the new resources. So on top of, you know, there's mounts and wings and all of that stuff that we can end up crafting, sure, but there's a lot of items that are consumables that you'll end up constantly crafting, and thus these resources should still retain a lot of their value. I haven't seen many, if any, of the new items tradable on the market, so I'm assuming they are either over the cap, because stuff in the market you can sell for like 25 mil. You can't sell anything on the market for higher than that. So a lot of times you'll actually notice that some of the most expensive items in the game aren't actually on the marketplace, and that's because players are actually selling them to people for more flux than the market value can actually have. So that's what I assume is going on with the tradable versions of the Uplands items, because frankly speaking, based on how the resource costs right now, I've actually been slowly but surely crafting a bunch of the items out of the workbench, so long as I can afford them. And generally speaking, you know, if we go to the Sundered Collections tab, I've actually got the wings, and I'll end up making another video highlighting them so you guys can see them all. But they were like let's say about 3 to 4 mil each. Based on all of the resources and stuff at their current price value right now. Not to mention the Sunder Charged Crystals, which these are atrociously difficult to get because they are time gated. But you end up getting a bunch of them out of the Solarian pack. So I actually ended up having like over 100 of them, and then I ended up grinding the new 5-star dungeon to get my weekly limit, and now I'm completely fresh out after grinding all of the wings, because they all take the sun charge, you know, and not every single item does, but I mean, right here you can see this ally is ridiculously expensive, more expensive than the wings, and this one's even more expensive than the wings, and so on and so forth. But all of these resources are very valuable right now, because not only are they difficult to obtain, but more so it's the fact that it's new resources. So there's a lot of hype around it. There's a lot of people like me crafting all of the new items, or at least trying to, and so the value of all of these resources ends up staying high. So if there's something that I would recommend that you guys end up doing for flux right now, honestly speaking, it would be going out of your way to end up grinding these resources and selling them. Like, especially on resource day, I think everything's going to dip in price for a little bit, and then it's going to go right back up. Anyways, sorry for the lengthy intro explanation, but I felt that it was worth mentioning just how costly these items are, because at the very least, these items I feel are... they're going to obviously end up getting cheaper with time based on the resources to crafting as more and more people end up farming them. As these items end up slowly getting circulated into the player economy, they're going to end up getting cheaper in value. But again, like I said, there's still a lot of consumable items that end up requiring vast amounts of these resources. So I feel like certain resources might still retain their value. And my point with all of that is that the last video that we did like this was the Bomber Royale video, and as we saw, it wasn't really worthwhile. So I'm hoping that these are going to end up being more valuable. More specifically, I hope we end up getting lucky with them. I also wanted to end up unlocking some of the Lesser Sundered Uplands Cache for you guys, just because I thought this was interesting. So you actually get these from 5-star dungeons, the new 5-star dungeons, I should say. So I just wanted to kind of open these with you guys just to see if they ended up having anything. It seems like it's just resources, which is really, really good because, again, these resources are fluctuating in their price constantly, but I'm noticing a couple power cells and a couple of the devices and ores and stuff like that that are going to end up being quite valuable to me. Anyways, at the very least, we'll be able to trigger karma once. I really think that they should lower the karma bar on these. I think that then maybe it could justify the insane price of these boxes. But the devs just kind of consistently are like 4,500. Yup, just across the board. That totally makes sense when it's like, no, that's a ripoff. Like, these are not worthwhile. So these keys, for example, these are really, really cheap. That's kind of the worst item we could get. The unnatural device is a good item that we can get just because it's actually a really difficult resource to farm. But 2 of them, I mean, come on, dude. And then for the plants and stuff, it needs to give a lot more. It needs to give a lot more. These resources suck. I guess the only real reason that you're actually doing this is specifically to end up getting your hands on the mounts and stuff. Because the irradiant power cell is not bad, but getting 3 of them... I can get 3 of them in like a minute, okay? And you're telling me that you want to end up acting like these boxes end up having any type of value whatsoever, devs? Like, come on, man. If they were cheaper, then they would be more affordable, and then I might actually buy them. Maybe everybody else would. I mean, I know that I bought them, but I mean, like, aside from doing this video, I will probably never end up recommending these boxes or getting them ever again. And that's kind of the whole goal with these videos. An Irradiant Soul, I guess I'll take it. The whole goal of these videos is most of all just to knock these boxes and let everybody who's interested in them know that the items you get out of them are not really worthwhile. Now, the Irradiant Soul or the Ashen Soul, these are a tedious resource to get. Not really, I don't know. I guess it's good that they're out of these boxes, but I'd like to see them more common. Basically, we end up getting a trophy from one of the new enemy types, and then we compost it in the gardening bench, and then we end up getting the Irradiant or Ashen Soul. There's also a real tedious set of like mounts and stuff that require a very specific trophy, so you want to make sure that you don't end up composting that one. But yeah, this is quite pathetic. It's these resources are not that much. Like, I'd like to see a lot more than this in each of these amounts. And then they consider Sundered Keys to be rare? Okay, I gotta show you guys what these cost, okay? Just because I know I'm knocking it and saying, oh, these are terrible, but that's pathetic. These are a waste of money. Like, they already were kind of just a waste of money. Now they are 100% a waste of money. So look at this. Look at this. Here's the keys right here. So I can already make 16 of these. Granted, yeah, I unboxed some of these resources, but generally speaking, you can see it's really, really cheap to craft these keys. So 3 of them on Karma, not worth it, dude. Let's just kind of start going through these. Maybe we'll end up getting lucky, but I really don't think so, just because the drop rate is just so atrocious. Also, for that ashen plant that we keep seeing as well, that one where we just got 5 of them, look at this. This guy alone wants like 200 or 2,500. There's some of the stuff in the bench that costs like thousands of this that plant, and yet they're giving me like 1 to 15. Or 5. Like, oh my god. Like, it just... I can't... Oh, wow. We got more keys that don't do anything. Alright. These will be the saving grace, I hope. I swear to God, if these boxes... It says it contains... Oh, no. Open for large amounts of Sundered Uplands crafting materials or other valuable items. Oh, boy. So what they usually do, usually they're really smart with these boxes, and they make it so that the big boy box that you get gives you a guaranteed tradable of one of the new items. But if this can give me resources, I dread to think what I'll get. Oh boy, 6 keys. Devs, I want my money back. I should probably call my credit card company and say fraud, because that's what these are. Yup, that... Okay, so 100%, these are the least valuable cash out boxes I have ever seen. Like, legit. Because the boxes in the past actually were a really good value. As far as pay to win is concerned, you would get such heaps and heaps of the new resources that it would end up actually being worthwhile, because you would be able to craft a couple of the additional items that you might not have ended up actually getting as a drop. However, if we go to this tab right here, you can see I was already able to craft these 2 allies. I didn't get enough resources to craft anything additional. Even if we go to this, like, look at this. I still don't even have any of the resources in order to end up crafting the wings. Granted, these wings are very expensive, but I just want to put this into perspective for you guys so that you don't end up making the mistake of ever buying these. I am your guinea pig to show you these are a ripoff, and you can grind the same resources I just got from those boxes probably in an hour, if that. Like, so that's what they want you to, like, so you end up spending, like, what is a 4,500 credits? So basically 3,690, like 90 bucks, essentially, for an hour. I'm not getting paid $90 an hour, much less, like, no, I'll just grind the resources myself or buy them off the player market. Jeez Louise. All right, rant's over. Thanks for watching, gamers. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed. Smash like stuff for more. Buy the merch you want to support the channel. Leave a nice comment. I feel nasty.